Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Vrndesa Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Kunja Vihari Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Virajagacharya Ashtotara Sadasri Śrīmad Bhagavatam Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Virajagacharya Ashtotara Sadasri Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Shada Goswami Prabhugan Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamaguri Radha Kund Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Grandhara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Ki Jai. Janata Gaur Premanande, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 5, entitled The Demigods Appeal to the Lord, verse 29. Ye kavarnam tamasah param tad alokam avyaktam ananta param asanchakora pasuparnamena Asam chakoro pasuparnamenam Upasadeyo garathena dhira Ya ekavarnam tamasah param tad अलोकमव्यक्तमनन्तपारम् आसां चकारो पशुपर्णमेनम् उपासते योगरथेन धीराः य एकवर्णं तमसः परं तत् अलोकमव्यक्तमनन्तपारम् आसां चकारो पशुपर्णमेनम् उपासते योगरथेन धीराः य एकवर्णं तमसः परं तत् अलोकमव्यक्तमनन्तपारम् आसां चकारो पशुपर्णमेनम् उपासते योगरथेन धीराः एकवर्णं तमसः परं तत् अलोकमव्यक्तमनन्तपारम् आसां चकारो पशुपर्णमेनम् उपासते योगरथेन धीराः एकवर्णं तमसः परं तत् अलोकमव्यक्तमनन्तपारम् आसां चकारो पशुपर्णमेनम् उपासते योगरथेन धीराः एकवर्णं तमसः परं तत् अलोकमव्यक्तमनन्तपारम् आसां चकारो पशुपर्णमेनम् उपासते योगरथेन धीराः। माता जी एकवर्णं तमसः परं तत् अलोकमव्यक्तमनन्तपारम् आसां चकारो पशुपर्णमेनम् उपासते योगरथेन धीराः। एकवर्णं तमसः परं तत् अलोकमव्यक्तमनन्तपारम् आसां चकारो पशुपर्णमेनम् उपासते योगरथेन धीराः। एकवर्णं तमसः परं तत् अलोकमव्यक्तमनन्तपारम् आसां चकारो पशुपर्णमेनम् उपासते योगरथेन धीराः। Word to a translation responsibly, please. Yaha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who Ekavarnam, absolute, situated in pure goodness. Tamasaha, to the darkness of material world. Param, transcendental. Tat, that. Alokam, who cannot be seen. Avyaktam, not manifested. Anantaparam, unlimited, beyond the measurement of material time and space. Asamchakara, situated. Upasubarnam, on the back of Garuda. Enam, him. Upasate, worship. Yogarathena, by the vehicle of mystic yoga. Dhiraha, persons who are sober, undisturbed by material agitation. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva, and therefore he is Ekavarna, the omkara, pranava. Because the Lord is beyond the cosmic manifestation, which is considered to be darkness, he is not visible to material eyes. Nonetheless, he is not separated from us by time or space, but is present everywhere, seated on his carrier, Garuda. He is worshipped by means of mystical yoga power by those who have achieved freedom from agitation. Let us all offer our respectful obeisances unto him. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam Bhagavatam 4.3.23. In this material world, the three modes of material nature, goodness, passion and ignorance, prevail. Among the three, goodness is the platform of knowledge and passion brings about a mixture of knowledge and ignorance. But the mode of ignorance is full of darkness. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is beyond darkness and passion. He is on the platform where goodness or knowledge is not disturbed by passion and ignorance. This is called the Vasudeva platform. It is on this platform of Vasudeva that Vasudeva or Krishna can appear. Thus, Krishna appeared on the planet as the son of Vasudeva. Because the Lord is situated beyond the three modes of material nature, he is unseen by those who are dominated by these three modes. One must therefore become dhira or undisturbed by the modes of material nature. The process of yoga may be practiced by one who is free from the agitation of these modes. Therefore, yoga is defined in this way. Yoga Indriya Samyamana, as previously explained, we are disturbed by the Indriyas or senses. Moreover, we are agitated by the three modes of material nature, which are imposed upon us by the external energy. In conditional life, the living entity moves turbulently in the whirlpool of birth and death. But when one is situated on the transcendental platform of Vishuddha Sattva, pure goodness, he can be seen, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who sits on the back of Garuda. Lord Brahma offers his respectful obeisances unto that Supreme Lord. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnanajanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sapadantigam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanyitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanyitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchagalpadarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhutair Mahatbhir Ye Ima Puro Vibhu Nirmaya Shete Yadamusha Purusha Bhungte Gunan Shodashatmaka Solangrishishta Bhagavan Vacham Sime. Hare Krishna. Here Brahma is continuing his prayers to the Supreme Lord for protection. This is the demigod's appeal to the Supreme Lord. The verse is starting with the word, Ekavarnam, Ekavarna. Ekavarna is referring to what? What is Ekavarna in this verse? Yes, there is a word for that. Specifically in the translation says, Ekavarna is referring to Om, Omkara. That's what is given here. Specifically it is referring to Omkara, Pranava. The reason being, yes, Pranava is transcendence. It is beyond the material nature. Ekavarna, specifically, Eka means one and Varna means syllable. So specifically this Ekavarna is referring to Omkara. And this Ekavarna is also known as Trivrit. Trivrit. Three is meaning three. Vrit means having three components, three parts. So Ekavarna or Omkara, Pranava, has three parts. They are A, U and Ma. So these three parts are considered very important. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. I am the Pranava in all Vedic literature. The reason being, here one explanation of Pranava, which is composed of Trivrit or A, U and Ma. A is referring to Krishna himself. A is Krishna himself. In the Om, A is Krishna. And U is referring to, if A is Krishna, then who is U? Srimati Radharani. So that is U in Pranava. Okay? And Ma, who is left? Yes, all the servants of Radha and Krishna, all the devotees. So in A, U, or A, U, Ma, everyone is covered. all the material creation, all the spiritual creation in one sense. If you say A is Krishna, then everything is anyway covered. But rest is only a detail. So if you say A is Krishna, means Krishna includes everything. Krishna includes Radharani, Krishna includes living entities, Krishna includes material energy, Krishna includes spiritual energy. That is Krishna. That is the definition of absolute. But of course we can classify them into A, U and Ma. At the same time, elsewhere in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, the Lord in Pranava is classified in a different way. There it is mentioned, Sridhar Swami explains that Pranava has 5 components. 5 components to Pranava. They are starting from A, U, Ma, and dot, and what else is left now? A, U, Ma, and dot become that is a dot, okay? In Om, that is the dot. So they analyze it as the vibration that is created. When you chant Om, there is a vibration, right? Om, there is a vibration. So that is also there. So that is considered the fifth part of Om. In that, according to Sridhara Swami, according to Bhagavatam 11th canto, what is representing Krishna? A, U, Ma, dot, and the vibration. What is considered Krishna? Any guess? All of them are always Krishna. Pranava is Krishna. But specifically in this classification, the Anuswara, in Sanskrit is called Anuswara. So Anuswara is considered Krishna. Bindu is called Bindu. Bindu is considered Krishna. So Krishna is Nada Bindu. So sometimes vibration is also called Nada. So Nada Bindu is Krishna. Nada Bindu is Krishna. So that is different ways seen by Acharyas, the Pranava. However, we don't focus so much on Pranava. Krishna can be seen as Pranava, but at the same time, we don't focus so much on Pranava. Rather, we directly approach Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is more explicit, more clear, more personal for us. Pranava can also be personal if a devotee is chanting with understanding and realization. Otherwise, the same Pranava acts as impersonal. So this is the nature of transcendental sound vibration. Yes, for devotees, Pranava is personal because the devotees are seeing Radha and Krishna and all their energies, whereas for impersonalists, Pranava is simply impersonal. So that is the nature of the absolute truth. You can reveal according to the consciousness of the seeker. So the same thing reveals in different ways. So this is Ekavarna. So here it is mentioned, Ekavarna is also translated as the absolute situated in pure goodness, because definitely Pranava is beyond the material nature. And so Srila Prabhupada very nicely explains that platform, which is omkara and beyond. That is called Shuddha Sattva. So Prabhupada is referring this famous verse from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam in the 4th canto. Sattvam vishuddham vasudeva shabditam itiryate yatra pumana vaprute sattvena tasmin bhagavan vasudevo hyadhokshajo me namasa vidhiyate. This is the verse spoken by whom? 4th canto. There is a famous pastime in the 4th canto, right in the beginning. And there is a very famous personality. Daksha will not, yes, a pastime, but Daksha will not chant this verse because his consciousness is not Vasudeva. Lord Shiva, that's right, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva chants this verse. This is the response, in one sense, to Daksha's curse. Why Lord Shiva didn't get up and offer respects to Daksha upon his arrival to the assembly where this huge sacrifice has been performed? The response is Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. This is called Vishuddha Sattva. And Vishuddha Sattva is also known as Vasudeva, as it is mentioned. This is Vasudeva Shabditam. It's also known as Vasudeva. Itiryate yatra puman apavrite. Where the Puman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, becomes revealed, become manifested. So on this platform, the Supreme Lord is manifested. This is called Vasudeva Sattva or Shuddha Sattva. So Lord Shiva says that I am on this platform. Because I am situated on this platform, Sattvena Tasmin Bhagavan Vasudeva. I am always meditating upon Bhagavan Vasudeva. So this is the consciousness of Lord Shiva, and this is the consciousness of pure devotees, and that's why Vasudeva is Krishna and Vasudeva is his father on Shuddha Sattva platform. So birth of Krishna is since Vasudeva had such an advanced consciousness, the Lord manifested into his consciousness. And the Lord was in the heart of Vasudeva, and Vasudeva passed on Lord Krishna into the heart of Mother Devaki. And then he appeared. So this is the real process of initiation. Vasudeva initiated Mother Devaki by giving Krishna. This is a heart-to-heart transfer. So this is Vasudeva consciousness. This is Shuddha Sattva. And what is this Shuddha Sattva? Very clearly explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, chapter 4, quotations from Padma Purana. This Shuddha Sattva, as it is explained, it is of course beyond the modes of material nature. Material nature, we know it has three modes: Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Goodness, passion, ignorance. But when it comes to the transcendental platform, as it's explained, Vishuddha Sattva or Shuddha Sattva, there are three components to Shuddha Sattva. What are they? What are the three components of Shuddha Sattva? No? No? You know. What is the one component? Let's start with one component, you all know. First one is Sandhini. Sandhini Shakti, that is the first component. Second one is Samvit. And the third one is Hladini. So there are three components. Just like material nature, we say Rajas, Tamas and Sattva. The Shuddha Sattva is a combination of these three. The combination in the sense, all are present in Shuddha Sattva. So when we are referring to Shuddha Sattva, all three are present simultaneously. So according to the need, different components manifest. So that's why Sandhini Shakti is the existential potency. So if you go to the spiritual world, there are forms in the spiritual world. There are trees, there are houses, there are form of the Lord, there are form of the devotees. The essential principle, that is also in Shuddha Sattva. Everything is in Shuddha Sattva. Just like in the material world, everything is three modes of material nature. Where you take this microphone, the body, mind, everything is made of three modes of material nature. However, in the spiritual world, everything is made of Shuddha Sattva. And for the form, that is the manifestation of Sandhini Shakti. And when it comes to the knowledge potency, that is Samvit. Because everyone is conscious in the spiritual world. The trees, animals, Krishna, Radharani, all the devotees, Gopas, Gopis, everyone is cognizant. So this cognizance is originating from the Samvit potency, Samvit. So the Samvit is very important because that is cognizance, and that is the basis of knowledge in the spiritual world as well as in the material world. In the material world, it is perverted, but that is the essence. So the Sattva, in Sattva Sanjayate Jnanam, Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter. Sattva Sanjayate Jnanam. The knowledge is originated from Sattva. In that sense, even up to Brahman, we can say there is the spiritual, it is the gateway to the spiritual knowledge. It is the source of material knowledge, which is actual knowledge, that is Sattva. And also, it is the door towards spiritual knowledge, Sattva. Because without Sattva, one cannot understand anything spiritual. So in that way, Sattva Sanjayate Jnanam, one can refer to, one can come up to the platform that I am not the body, I am the soul. At least that knowledge, theoretically, one can at least understand. It's not the complete realization, but at least that is a doorway to the spiritual knowledge. So that is only a perverted aspect of Samvit, the spiritual potency. And then is the Hladini. Hladini Shakti, that is the rasa. That is the bliss potency in the spiritual world. So, the whole pastimes, there is so much of bliss in the activities in the spiritual world. Everything is the manifestation of Hladini potency, Hladini Shakti. And the personification of Hladini Shakti is Srimati Radharani. Bhava, when you talk about rasa, bhava, mahabhava, everything is Hladini Shakti, manifestation of Hladini Shakti. And Srimati Radharani is the exclusive manifestation of Hladini Shakti or the pleasure potency of Krishna. So that pleasure potency doesn't exist in the material world as such. It is manifested in the spiritual world. So that is Srimati Radharani. So this is the Vishuddha Sattva or Shuddha Sattva. This combination of three is called Vishuddha Sattva. So in a matter of self-realization, say if the devotee, in the matter of devotee is progressing to the platform of Bhava Bhakti, because there is a clear distinction between Sadhana Bhakti and Bhava Bhakti. There is a clear distinction. Because so far, if you consider the stages from Shraddha to Sadhusanga, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asati, they all belong to one category. Because so far, the devotee doesn't have the complete realization that the devotee is completely separate from the body and the mind. But Bhava is a step forward. It's a higher step. Because there is a complete realization of the self, and also there is a realization of Krishna. May not be complete realization, but one's service is revealed. One may even have a vision of Krishna. So that is Bhava Bhakti, very advanced. So that stage, and further, a devotee will have the revelation or blessing of these two Shaktis. One is Samvit and Hladini. Both are there in the devotee. So the Lord is blessing with these two Shaktis, the revelation of these two Shaktis. So that with the Samvit, one has the realization, look, I am not the body, I am not the mind. So that realization is manifested by the mercy of Samvit Shakti, the knowledge potency of Krishna. And because of that, one establishes the connection with the Lord, and because there is rasa, and the rasa is manifested only because of the Hladini Shakti, the blissful potency of the Lord. So this is the and that furthers, that increases, come up to the higher stages of bhakti. So this in itself is a very, very advanced stage of bhakti. So that is Vishuddha Sattva. That's why it's mentioned. So since a devotee is endowed with Vishuddha Sattva, then one can pursue the Lord. One can serve the Lord. There is rasa. So that's where it is mentioned. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. So then the Lord is there. So for Vasudeva, for Lord Shiva, the Lord is present because that is their consciousness. They are completely in connection with Krishna. They have rasa because there is Hladini Shakti. They are self-realized. They are realized Krishna. Samvit is there. So in this way, a devotee on the higher platform is on Vasudeva consciousness, and the Lord himself is known as Vasudeva. So the Lord himself accepts the name Vasudeva because he is born of Vasudeva in his pastime, in this platform. So that is the interesting aspect of this Shuddha Sattva or Vishuddha Sattva. And Srila Prabhupada explains, to come up to that platform, we had to go beyond the three modes of material nature. Because three modes of material nature are working constantly at work, internally and externally. The material nature is made of these three states, three modes, and they are being influenced by the three modes as well. So it's such a powerful influence, and so the word is used here as Dhira. Who is Dhira? Exactly. Who tolerates the agitations of the material nature. If we want to do any spiritual activities, we need to be tolerant of the material nature. Isn't it? If we want to chant, we have to be tolerant of the material nature in the form of primarily our own mind. All three modes are acting, and we have to be tolerant. We have to be patient. If we want to do any service in this material world, there will be challenges. To do any service in this world consistently, even a simple service, year after year, not easy. There will be challenges because that is a material nature. And that's why it is so important for us to be fixed up in service. It's considered a glorification. He or she is fixed up in service. Isn't it? The same service year after year, not so easy. So that is very, very important for devotees to achieve, for devotees to make progress. So the one is fixed up. And for that, one has to be tolerant of the material nature. One has to be dhira, meaning unagitated by the modes of material nature. Think about Vasudeva. Was he tolerant? Yes. How far? By far he was tolerant, right? How much? What did he had to tolerate? He had to tolerate not just Kamsa, along with his atrocities, right? He had to tolerate that. Think about that. Being a father, being a mother, they had to tolerate a lot. How many children were killed? 6. 6 children were killed by Kamsa, and Vasudeva tolerated. Who are they? What are they representing? Qualities, anarthas such as madness, kama, krodha, lobha, mada, moha, matsarya. So these sons are representing the anarthas within us. So in our progressive journey in Krishna consciousness, we need to tolerate them. We need to get rid of them. Right? Isn't it challenging? Yes, it is challenging. It doesn't go away. Kama, lust, does it go away completely? No, it again comes back. Krodha, come back. Lobha, greed, can come back. So this is, everything can come back to us. So it is very powerful, and for that, yes, we adopt to the spiritual process. Along with that, we have to cultivate goodness. Actually, all this can be removed only on the platform of goodness. Materially speaking, we need to cultivate goodness, and on that platform we need to do spiritual practices. So we can never think that, look, I am very transcendental. This is a response to many of our bad activities or not being situated in goodness. I am becoming angry. It's in Krishna's service. I am becoming angry because it's Krishna's service. Maybe. But we had to understand that, part of it is because of the mode of passion or ignorance. It's not all. Yes, on a pure platform, one can become angry for the purpose of being angry, to correct someone in Krishna service, which is good. But at the same time, one is taking out all anger on devotees and thinking, look, I am being beyond the modes. No, the mode of passion is affecting us. So we had to be very mindful. We cannot say, we cannot tell everything is because of being transcendental. So that's not the response. So we need to cultivate the mode of goodness. And that's why I hold the morning program, evening program, services, everything to be situated in goodness. Then we can go beyond the goodness. So we had to cultivate goodness. That's very important. When Srila Prabhupada was speaking out the purports to chapter 13 of 10 canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam in Vrindavan, in his final days, he's lying down. You can watch that video, Final Pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada specifically says, come to the platform of goodness. Attend Mangalarati, come to the platform of goodness. Very important to come to the platform of goodness. Otherwise, it is very difficult to make progress in spiritual life. So that's why, even though, yes, all 3 modes are material, but we try to cultivate goodness so that we can go beyond goodness. So that is, yoga is about indriya samyamaha. We had to control the senses. And Prabhupada writes, in conditional life, the living entity moves turbulently in the whirlpool of birth and death. Such a striking analogy. Turbulently moves the living entity. Turbulently, think about it just. In the whirlpool of repeated birth and death. We cannot even fathom what is going on in this material world. We cannot fathom how many births and deaths we had. Only through Shastra can we see this. And so, we have to be very careful in the practice of Krishna consciousness. And for today, we can take inspiration from a great Acharya who disappeared today. So it can be an inspiration for us to practice Krishna consciousness seriously. So today is the disappearance day of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So we'll speak a little bit about some pastimes of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, a great Acharya. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned that Gopal Bhatta Goswami is coming as the 47th branch of the tree of Lord Chaitanya. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can see in the chapter 10 the branches of Chaitanya tree. We are also part of Chaitanya tree. And the 47th branch is Gopala Bhatta Goswami. So very important personality. He appeared in South India in the holy city of Srirangam. And he appeared as the son of Venkata Bhatta. So in a Sri Vaishnava family. Appeared as a Sri Vaishnava, worshippers of Lakshmi Narayana. And Venkata Bhatta had two brothers. One is Tirumala Bhatta and Prabodhananda Saraswati. So this is a very exalted family of devotees. That's where Gopala Bhatta appeared. And from birth, he is a devotee. From birth, he is a devotee. As he was growing up, he got the great good fortune of getting association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So in 1511, Lord Chaitanya visited Srirangam. So Lord Chaitanya's South Indian Yatra is considered very, very special. It is mentioned that the Lord couldn't manifest all the potencies. He couldn't demonstrate all his power in Bengal, in Nadia. Where in South India, he could show all his potencies. Why? Because in Bengal, his associates were all devotees. So they were already devotees. So he couldn't manifest his opulence of preaching so much. Indeed, he did, but not to the degree as he manifested in South India. So it is mentioned he delivered all three worlds. How is it possible? How can he deliver all the worlds? He even delivered the higher planetary systems. The reason is the demigods came and associated with Lord Chaitanya in his South Indian pastimes. All demigods, they came as Brahmanas and Brahmanis. And they were taking the association of Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya's South Indian trip was very astonishing. It's mentioned he would go in the middle of a village. There will be a big kirtan going on. He will chant and dance. Lord Chaitanya performing right in the middle. And all the residents of that village, they will be dumbfounded seeing Lord Chaitanya. Some of them will start crying. Some of them will start dancing. Some of them start singing. All of them became pure devotees. Just seeing Lord Chaitanya chanting and dancing, they became pure devotees. And it is mentioned, these devotees, they will go here and there. Whoever they meet, they also became pure devotees. In this way, Lord Chaitanya delivered whole South India and even the upper planetary system. So this was the preaching of Lord Chaitanya. In that way, he was coming down. He went to Srirangam. When he went Srirangam, he was doing the same thing. He was chanting and dancing. And then he went and he took darshan of Lord Ranganath. Have you been to Lord Ranganath temple? Anyone? No? A very nice temple. Big temple. Nice temple. There are 7 gopurams to go inside. And there you can see Lord Ranganath lying down. Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, Mahavishnu lying down. So Lord Chaitanya went, there also in ecstasy he chanted and danced. Many devotees, all the Sri Vaishnavas watched Lord Chaitanya chanting and dancing. They were amazed to see such divine ecstasy. We know the pastime. There he delivered Brahmana who was trying to read Bhagavad Gita upside down. And Lord Chaitanya blessed him. Then there was this great Brahmana named Venkata Bhatta. Venkata Bhatta personally invited Lord Chaitanya. Asked Lord Chaitanya, please come home, and during this Chaturmasya period, now we just started the Chaturmasya period, please stay at our place. Please give us this mercy. Lord Chaitanya could see the qualification of Venkata Bhatta. And Lord Chaitanya said, yes, I will stay at your place. So you can imagine, 4 months Lord Chaitanya stayed at the place of Venkata Bhatta. Can you imagine the mercy that Venkata Bhatta received? He's such an advanced devotee. And Venkata Bhatta, along with his family, was serving Lord Chaitanya. So they were cooking for them, they were offering obeisances, they were providing whatever Lord Chaitanya wanted. Even if you go to Srirangam now, there are deities of Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, carved personally by Lord Chaitanya. You can see those deities, you can take darshan of those deities, they are still there. So Lord Chaitanya worshipped Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra in Srirangam. And he was always talking to Venkata Bhatta about Krishna. So they were having such a very loving dealing, such a loving pastime, and always discussing the pastimes of Lord Krishna. One day, they were having this friendly conversation. By now, Venkata Bhatta developed kind of a Sakhya Ras with Lord Chaitanya. They had such a friendly, affectionate relationship where they can talk to each other, they can joke to each other, so developed such an intimate relationship. So, Lord Chaitanya told Venkata Bhatta, oh, for you, you are the worshipper of Lakshmi Narayan. For me, my Lord is Krishna, is a cowherd boy. And I worship Radha and Krishna. Krishna is a cowherd boy, but you are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. So you are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan and you are saying he is the Supreme Lord. If it is so, why Lakshmi Devi, who is a consort of Lord Narayan, prayed and performed austerities to participate in Rasa dance of Krishna? Why she wanted to associate with Krishna if she is a chaste wife of Lord Narayan? Venkata Bhatta said, there is nothing wrong in it. Because ultimately, Lord Krishna and Narayan are the same personality. They have the same one. He quoted this verse, Siddhantastu abhedevi Shrisha Krishna Swarupayoho Rasod Krishyade Krishna Rupam Esha Rasastitaha. Siddhantastu abhedevi. There is no difference between Lord Narayan, Sri Isha and Krishna Swarupayoho. There is no difference. Both are the same personalities. So if Lakshmi Devi wanted to enjoy with Krishna in Rasa dance, what's wrong in it? So Chaitanya said, yes, that is true. They are the same personalities, but Bhagavatam makes this point a little different. Bhagavatam says an interesting verse. We can read this verse in the 46th or 47th chapter of the 10th canto. It is after Uddhava's meeting with the gopis. Then Uddhava shares his realization. A very interesting verse, Nayam Shriyonga Unitantarate Prasada Suryoshitam Nalinagantharucham Kutonya Rasotsavesya Bhujadanda Grihida Kantha Labdhaisham Ya Udagad Vrajavallabhinam. Uddhava says that Na I am Shriya. Who is Shri? Lakshmi Devi. Even Shriya didn't receive the anga, the touch of the Lord in Rasotsave. And then what to speak about Swaryoshitam, Swarga, the ladies of heavenly planets, Apsaras. Can they get the touch of Krishna? He's telling, no. Who are they? Swaryoshitam Nalina Gandharucham. Nalina Gandharucham. Their body has the fragrance of lotus flower. So Swaryoshitam. Yoshit means woman, and Swaryoshitam, the woman, the heavenly damsels, they have the fragrance of lotus flower. Even they couldn't get the association of Krishna. Kutonya, what to speak about woman of this world? Lakshmi Devi didn't get. Even the Apsaras didn't get. Then what to speak about woman of this world? How can they get the association of Krishna? But it is mentioned Rasotsave in the Rasa dance. But who Bhujadanda, Grihita Kantha. But they got such intimate association. Who Gopis? They got such intimate association of Krishna. Not one, all of them, billions of them. So Lord Chaitanya quoted this verse and told, look, Lakshmi Devi performed austerities in Vrindavan, right? Not in Vrindavan. In which one? It's called Shrivan. If you go to one of the Dwadasha Kanana, 12 ones, 12 forests, one is called Shrivan. Why? Lakshmi Devi performed austerities. Still, what is mentioned? Still she couldn't obtain the association of Krishna. So Mahaprabhu told, look, yes, you say they are the same personality, which is true, but still, I am not saying that Lakshmi Devi is unchaste, but Lakshmi Devi couldn't get the association of Krishna in the Rasa dance. How is it possible? So Venkata Bhatta said, I am only an ordinary jiva. How can I explain all this? But you are the Supreme Personality of Krishna. I can understand you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So Venkata Bhatta understood that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. So he became a pure devotee of Krishna. Shifted up to Krishna consciousness. And then Lord Chaitanya explained why Lakshmi Devi couldn't enter Rasa dance. Why? Who knows why? Exactly. The only way one can enter Vrindavan is by following in the footsteps of residents of Vrindavan. That is the only way. There is no other way, even for Lakshmi Devi. So our Sampradaya, Gaudiya Sampradaya, is presenting this exalted path. That is called Raganuga Bhakti. It is part of Sadhana Bhakti, but still it's a practice, but it is a Raganuga Sadhana, where a devotee, after obtaining primarily, it can be practiced properly, after obtaining Nishtha, a devotee is following in the footsteps of residents of Vrindavan. The practicing in that mood, based on the natural attraction that one develops. So this is certainly after Anartha Nivritti. It can be properly practiced. Of course, one can start before, but it becomes proper only after Anartha Nivritti. So from there, one comes to the platform of Bhava. In that Bhava, one can have connection to Krishna in Vrindavan. So here it is stated, even Lakshmi Devi couldn't follow in footsteps of Vrajagopikas. So she couldn't attain that. She was attached to her opulence because her eternal position in her form is worshipping Narayan, so she couldn't give that up. So this is the point Lord Chaitanya makes. So meanwhile, so in that way, Venkata Bhatta became a devotee of Krishna. Bhakta in Vrindavan in that sense. Of course, Venkata Bhatta resided there. Same with Prabodhananda Saraswati. Prabodhananda Saraswati became a devotee of Krishna. Later, Prabodhananda Saraswati leaves Srirangam and he becomes a resident of Vrindavan. And he become maddened by Vrindavan. Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur. He writes so many verses in glorification of Vrindavan. So, Prabhupada Saraswati says, if one is a thief, still it is okay. If one is a steal, it's okay. Come and steal in Vrindavan. So that one can get the mercy of Vrindavan. So this is the consciousness of Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur. His samadhi you can see. After Kaliyakhat, if you go further toward Madan Mohan temple, there is a samadhi of Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur. Who is Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur? He is the uncle of Gopala Bhatta. So meanwhile, while all these pastimes were going on in Srirangam, Gopala Bhatta Goswami was assisting Lord Chaitanya in his service, in his bhajan. So Gopala Bhatta Goswami developed such an intimate connection, intimate attraction to Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya blessed Gopala Bhatta Goswami, saying that you may become a great devotee of Krishna. Then he also blessed that after the departure of his parents, he can go back home to Vrindavan, that is his eternal residence. So Lord Chaitanya instructed, till your parents are in this planet, please serve them. That is your duty. But after that, leave. Of course, meanwhile, he remained a brahmachari and he served his parents. And as the parents were getting older, when they were old, then even the parents told Gopala Bhatta that, look, after our departure, please go to Vrindavan and join Lord Chaitanya. So they were very clear about what their son should do. And then, when the time came for Lord Chaitanya's departure from Srirangam, Gopala Bhatta Goswami was crying because he was so attached to Lord Chaitanya. He didn't want to part from Lord Chaitanya. But of course, after Chaturmasya, a sannyasi has to travel. Lord Chaitanya traveled further into the south. And Gopala Bhatta Goswami started his studies under the tutelage of Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur. He learned Sanskrit, he learned rhetorics, poetry, grammar, he learned everything, and he became very expert in Shastra. And Gopala Bhatta Goswami's expertise in Shastra becomes a great asset to Gaudiya Sampradayas. In terms of philosophy and in terms of essential rituals for the Grihastha devotees. Later, after the departure of his parents, Gopala Bhatta Goswami went all the way to Vrindavan. You can understand that time they had to walk all the way from Srirangam to Vrindavan. Such a long walk, maybe 1,500 kilometers, isn't it? Long journey, walking all the way, and he reached Vrindavan. When he reached Vrindavan, he was given such a hospitality by Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatan Goswami. They treated him just like the younger brother, because they already knew that Gopala Bhatta is going to come from South India, because Lord Chaitanya had already told them that my devotee is going to come from South India. So Rupa and Sanatan greeted Gopala Bhatta and they engaged him in service. Gopala Bhatta Goswami started doing service in Vrindavan, and he went on a pilgrimage towards Banaras, in that direction. And then one time, as he was traveling, he met with this family in near Banaras. It's in the Devavandya Gram. Sorry, it's not Banaras, Haridwar. Near Haridwar, in Devavandya Gram, he met this Brahmana family. So as this Brahmana family met Gopala Bhatta Goswami, they said, we are very morose because we don't have a child. So Gopala Bhatta Goswami blessed this Brahman family, said, you may have children. You may be blessed with children. And eventually his blessings will come true. And as a response to this, this Brahmana promised Gopala Bhatta Goswami that my first son I'll give you as your servant. So Gopala Bhatta Goswami, after that he left, and he was still in Vrindavan. So then one time Lord Chaitanya came in his dream and told him, and I'll give you darshan, you go to Kali Gandagi and worship Salagram. So he walked all the way from Vrindavan again to Nepal to Kali Gandagi river. He went there. When he went there, he paid his respects and he wanted to take water from the Kali Gandagi. So as he was collecting water from the Kali Gandagi, he put his hand and he just took water for Tarpanam. You offer water back to the Kali Gandagi, to Ganga, to offer as the respect. The hand had how many Salagram Shilas? 12 of them. And the main Shila was Damodar Shila. Krishna Shila, Damodar Shila. So he saw, and when he saw that it is mentioned, he felt very disqualified. So he left them. He said, no, how can I take them? And when again did that, again all the salagrams were jumping and coming into the palm. And he repeated sometimes, and then finally he understood, this is the mercy of the Lord, so I am supposed to worship the salagram shilas. He took them and again started walking to Vrindavan, and there he used to keep them in a bag. Every day he would take the salagram shila, do the worship and put them back. So he continued for a very long time, and one time a rich merchant gave him a lot of jewelry. Then Gopalapata Goswami was thinking, oh, how can I worship the Lord in the threefold bending form? Because I have all this jewelry, how can I dress them? How can I bathe and how can I do all those rituals required if I only have salagram shila? Right? Because salagram, how can you dress salagram? Here we offer vastra to salagram. That offering is only a sitting place. It's only a sitting place. There is no more vastra we offer because we cannot dress salagram. So in the same way, Gopala Bhatta Goswami was thinking, how can I offer cloth? How can I dress salagram? I cannot do anything. So he had that intense desire to serve the Lord. So this is the point. The devotees, generally, devotees can have deities. So temple we have the deities. Devotees can also have the deities when they are ready. But if they have the deities, then they had to serve them. What is the service? Minimum service is wake the Lord and put them to rest. That is two things required. One doesn't need bed or anything. Just you can pray. It's very simple. One can just pray. You don't even have to touch. That's simple. As simple as that. But waking we can touch. Very simple. But you had to bathe them and dress them every day. And offer a minimum arati. Just incense and one offering. At least this much is required if we have a deity, even if we have Gaurnita deities. Bathing and dressing is compulsory. And offering a bhoga and arati. This is the minimum standard of deity worship at home. Otherwise, have the picture. Picture means there are no obligation, there is no minimum standard. Like one can offer incense, one can offer a bhoga, one doesn't have to put them to rest, etc. Devotees sometimes get deities because we want to do this additional things. They want to bathe and dress. But devotees tend to do that once in 2 weeks, once in a week, but that's not the standard. Every day. Maybe 10-15 minutes, that's all. Very simple worship, but that is required. That's why we chant every day. Shri Vigrahara Dhana Nitya Nana Shringara Tanmandina Marjanado. Shri Vigraharadhana is Nitya. It's a daily process. So we need to do a simple worship, but daily. One doesn't have time. I know some devotees, they don't have time. I've seen them bathing and dressing, everything in 10 to 15 minutes, everything done. Because not much time, but it's as simple as that. So this is the procedure of worship. And now, when it came to Gopalapata Goswami, his desire was so intense, that particular day he went to Yamuna, he took bath and he came back and he opened his bag. Then he saw a beautiful deity of Krishna in the threefold bending form. And that is Radha Raman ji. So when he checked, he couldn't find his Damodar Shila anymore. So then he understood Damodar Shila has transformed into threefold bending form of Krishna. He became so ecstatic and he immediately informed Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So from Vrindavan, all Goswamis, they came. They were all amazed to see this beautiful form of Radha Raman ji. And then they gave the name Radha Raman Devji. All the Goswamis gave the name Radha Raman as one who gives pleasure to Srimati Radharani. So this is the appearance of Radha Raman ji. And the Radha Raman deities are very special in Vrindavan because two deities didn't leave Vrindavan when Muslim invaders came to Vrindavan. Who are they? One is Vrinda Devi. Vrinda Devi didn't leave. And then Radha Raman ji. Radharaman Dev never left. So these are very special. And Radharaman is so small deity, but if you see, sometimes when you see, you can see the smile and the teeth. And sometimes you can't. This is there. Some photos you can actually see the smile with the teeth, and sometimes you can't see. So, very special deity, Radharaman deity. So, that is the deity of Gopala Bhatta Goswami. And then one day he was near his kutir. Suddenly he saw one young man approaching and paid obeisance to Gopala Bhatta Goswami. And Gopala Bhatta Goswami asked, "Who are you?" He said, "I am coming from Deva Vandya Gram. I am son of such and such Brahmana. And my parents have offered me to you, to serve you." So his name is Gopinath. So the boy who was blessed by Gopala Bhatta Goswami, the Brahmana was blessed, and that's how the boy was born. So that boy, you grow up, and the parents sent him to Vrindavan. Can you imagine the integrity of those parents? They are somewhere else, in the Devavandya Gram near Haridwar. All the way from Haridwar, he came to Vrindavan, and he started doing all the service to Gopala Bhatta Goswami, and he became the pujari of Radharaman ji. So he started known as Gopinath Pujari. Gopinath Pujari. And rest of his life, he remained a brahmachari and served Radharaman ji. So this is it's amazing how they served Radharaman. So now also such an opulent, wonderful worship is going on for Radharaman ji. It's mentioned one time Radharaman deity transformed and shown to Gopala Bhatta Goswami as Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And finally, the scholarship of Gopala Bhatta Goswami, he was such an expert in Shastra, and his expert was unparalleled in Smriti Shastra. What is Smriti Shastra? All the Puranas, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and all the Puranas, Agama, they are Smriti Shastra. So he became such an expert in Smriti Shastra. So he is known as Smrti-Acharya. Acharya of Smriti Shastra, Smrti-Acharya. Say for example, Rupa Goswami is known as Rasacharya. Sanatan Goswami is known as Sambandhacharya. Gopala Bhatta Goswami is known as Smrti-Acharya because he is an expert Smriti Shastra. So if you see, one of the topmost philosophical work in Gaudiya Sampradaya, and so to speak in the whole Vedanta literature, the topmost philosophical work is Shad Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami. The 6 books. That is the topmost. Even accepted by Western scholars. So the basis of this Shad Sandarbhas was written by Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Because Gopala Bhatta Goswami was very thorough in philosophy from the Gaudiya side, as well as he was thorough with the teachings of Ramanujacharya as well as other acharyas who appeared in Ramanuja Sampradaya. There are many other commentators in Ramanuja Sampradaya, so he was thorough with that. So even in Sandarbhas, certain sections, because it is been already proved by Ramanujacharya, he simply gives a reference to the commentary of Ramanujacharya. Because Jiva Goswami doesn't want to again reiterate. There is no point. There is no requirement of plagiarism. Again, somebody has written, again copying it. He didn't do that. So there is such a strong reference to certain sections to the philosophy presented by Ramanujacharya. The reason being, we are presenting Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. We have 2 aspects, Bheda and Abheda. Simultaneous oneness and difference of the Jiva and the Supreme Lord. The difference, we are connected to difference, but when it comes to the bhakti aspect, we are very connected to what was presented by Ramanujacharya. And so Jiva Goswami makes many comments, and basis of this is coming from Gopala Bhatta Goswami. And so in Tattva Sandarbha, which is the first Sandarbha, in the first chapter itself, Jiva Goswami refers to Gopala Bhatta Goswami. He refers to as Dakshinatyeka Brahmana, a Brahmana from South India who is a very dear friend of Rupa and Sanatan. He has written this thesis originally, but it was not in sequence and many of the things were missing. So I am weaving all of them together. So he's weaving many concepts of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam together. That's the meaning of Sandarbha. Sandarbha means process of weaving. It's like if you weave things, many things you can weave. You know, you have a wool, you can weave it together to get a cloth. Similarly, Sandarbha means a weaving. It's weaving, connecting all different philosophical concepts which are presented in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So Gopala Bhatta Goswami became the basis of Sandarbhas, and also he has written a commentary on Krishna Karnamrita of Bilavangal Thakur, very advanced book. Similarly, for the Grihastha devotees, he wrote Satkriya Saradipika. Satkriya Saradipika, it gives the Vaishnava rituals required for Grihastha devotees. From Garbhadhana and Srimandodhyana, all the rituals before taking birth. And after birth, Jata Kriya, etc., etc., all the upacharas are there. Everything is presented, how to perform everything according to Vaishnava standard. Up to even sannyas is there. So that's not for, it's for grihasthas. Grihasthas can become sannyasi. So even how to take sannyas, everything is given by Gopala Bhatta Goswami, because he's Smriti-Acharya. He knew all the Smritis. And finally, the eternal position of Gopala Bhatta Goswami. So from Gaura Ganodesha Devika of Kavikarnapura, there are two opinions. It's mentioned that he was Ananga Manjari. His eternal position is Ananga Manjari. Also it is mentioned, some people say that he is Guna Manjari. So in either case, Gopala Bhatta Goswami is a Manjari in the spiritual world, performing eternal pastimes. Gopala Bhatta Goswami ki jai. Tirabha Mahotsav ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any quick question before we conclude? Okay. Oh yeah, Madhuri has a question. Can you please pass the microphone?
I just wondering about the Sudasattva platform, state of consciousness, as the eternal state of consciousness of resident in the spiritual world. I mean, also part of the constitutional position of the soul. So in that way, all of us should be, as part of us, the Sudasattva state of consciousness. So the idea is just awakening that. How can be, for example, the three modes of material nature are modulating our activities, but internally our constitutional position is in Sudasattva. So how this can be manifested, because it's not like something that we have to gain or obtain, because it's part of us.
Yes, that's right. Basic point. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Sadhya Gaponoi, Shravanadi Shuddha Jite Korile Uday. So, Nitya Siddha, it's eternally present, same. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, because that is the platform actually on Shuddha Sattva, one has love for the Lord. Sadhya Gaponoi, it's not external, exactly as you're pointing. Shravanadi Shuddha Jite Korile Uday. Shravanadi Shuddha Jite. When there is hearing and chanting, Uday just manifests. That's what Krishna Kaviraj Goswami explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So of course, that means mercy of the Lord is required. It's not external, because it's again internal energy of the Lord. So it manifests. When the ignorance goes away, as the practice of bhakti, as Shravanam Kirtanam, as our attraction for Krishna increases, as the ignorance goes away, then the spiritual qualities manifest.
Also, I'm trying to reflect upon all the transcendentalists, including Brahmavadis, also in Sudasattva. So, but Sudasattva, in your explanation, means also Sambandha, Sambit, Sandini, Samvit, and Hladini. And Hladini is more for devotional, in the devotional aspect.
Yes.
And Brahmavadis are not much into
That's right.
that.
Yes, of course, because that's why we say that it's a realization. It's not that they have the capacity.
Oh, okay.
It's not manifested. Say for example, we say Brahman realization is Sat. Eternality is realized. However, when it comes to Brahman realization, there is no, the form is not manifested of the soul. Okay. The eternal form is not manifested. So in other words, even the Sandhini Shakti is not completely manifested for a liberated soul on the Brahman platform. Because the manifestation of Sandhini Shakti is the eternal form the Jiva has. Right? It can be whatever form in the spiritual world. So that manifestation doesn't happen in Brahman realization. Similarly, when it comes to Samvit, because Samvit is the basis of all knowledge, even Sattva knowledge. So Brahman also, there is some knowledge is there. Because that knowledge is, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the spirit soul. That knowledge is there. So that is an aspect of the Samvit, but that's not complete. Similarly, when it comes to Hladini, definitely there is no Hladini as such, but still we can understand that material pleasure is a perverted reflection of Hladini. Perverted. Similarly, there is some rasa in Brahman realization, but that rasa is only, or that ananda, as Brahmavad is called as Brahmananda. So Brahmananda is only the absence of material misery. So that is not classified as a positive happiness. So in that way there is no Hladini. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.